Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brad Lone Wolf, and I was actually planning on filming this outside. However, sod's law, as soon as I start filming, builders start across the road, and my neighbours decide to walk into camera shot. So, fantastic. So I've had to move indoors to do this. So, anyway, little rant over. Today's video is going to be on trekking poles, and in particular trekking poles for walking. Now, if you're watching this on the day it goes out, providing I get this actually edited and out on time, it's the 28th of December. So it's just after Christmas, which means I have been eating a lot. And those people that have watched videos of me in the past on this channel know that I've actually been trying to lose weight to varying degrees of success. Obviously, Christmas period hasn't helped. There's been a lot of food around. I've been eating it. I have been conscious of the fact I've been eating a lot of food. It's not stopped me, but I've been conscious of that, been well aware of that fact. Okay. This is Brad interrupting Brad, just to let you know as well that something I didn't mention on the video is about 3 weeks ago I actually badly sprained my ankle, very badly sprained my ankle. I am going to put some pictures in a second, basically showing it was actually my toes that got bruised, but honestly it was my ankle that was sprained. So obviously that stopped me from doing any walking as well. So yeah, a few pictures going to be going up, and then we're going to go straight back to the video. And also, for those people who don't know, we're now in another national lockdown. Now, where I live, we're actually in tier 4. So that basically means that everything, with the exception of essential shops, are closed. Which really doesn't help in losing weight. Again, going back a little bit, those of you that have been following me for a little while know that I wouldn't join the gym anyway, but that's besides the point. Anyway, enough waffling on that. Let's move on to the trekking poles themselves. Now, trekking poles have been about for a while, and they have a lot of benefits. There are a couple of downsides, but they have a lot of benefits. Now, if you use them properly, and if you use them in the way that they're supposed to use them, you can actually take anything up to the equivalent weight of 2 elephants off your back over an 8-hour day. Now, I will show you how to set these up properly a little bit later on in the video. But yeah, you can take the equivalent weight of 2 elephants off your back, possibly even more, off your back over an 8-hour day. This is obviously done by spreading the load a bit more, but also giving you 2 extra feet to stabilise yourself as well. You can obviously use them for river crossings as well. Obviously it helps with stability as you're going across the rivers. Downsides are, unfortunately, there is a group in the UK that they are quite notorious. I'm not going to name names, but they are quite notorious for, let's say, annoying people, and they have a distinctive style within that group, and they all seem to have trekking poles. So people who actually use these properly have been put into that group of, I'm not going to use the word troublemakers, but that group that people tend to roll their eyes at. That's all I'll say on the matter. The other downside is when they're extended, and these do extend quite a way, they can get a little bit awkward if you're trying to use your hands. Swings and roundabouts. Anyway, moving on slightly. The reason I'm talking about poles today is twofold. Like I say, I'm going to be showing you how to set them up for ordinary trekking, and I'm also going to be setting them up for something called Nordic Walking. Now, Nordic Walking is something that I'm hoping will help me lose weight a little bit faster. Nordic Walking is basically cross-country skiing without the snow or the skis. But the way if you do it correctly, not only are you moving more efficiently, you are burning more energy as well, and I'll show you why again a little bit later on. That is the idea. Now, there are people who explain Nordic Walking a little bit better than myself on YouTube. These poles are not Nordic Walking poles. Nordic Walking poles are quite specific types of poles, but because I'm not going to be doing Nordic Walking seriously, they will be okay for now. There has been a small adaptation I need to make to the poles, not a huge one but a small one, but as I say, these are not Nordic Walking poles. Okay, so moving on, set up these poles for normal walking, for ordinary trekking. You basically need to make sure that your arm is at a right angle, or sorry, parallel to the ground, and that your arm more or less is at a 90-degree angle. Now, I know, I'm just going to drop the camera slightly here so you can see a little bit better. I know, for example, that on these poles, on all Lecky poles, the ideal height for me is 119 centimetres. If you look on these poles, you'll see that they are graduated from 110 centimetres up to 130 in this case. Like I say, I know from experience that my ideal setting is 119 centimetres. So that's my pole setup, and as you can see, if I step on, the camera needs to be dropped a little bit more. As you can see, my arm is more or less parallel to the ground. Bearing in mind there is a little bit of parallax with the camera there. Okay, so that is the ideal setting for my pole. Now, in this configuration, I will do the other one. In this configuration, it's ideal for spreading the weight across my back, and giving me an easier time out on the path. So this one will look a little bit different because there is a different foot on there. Again, I'll go into that in a little bit more detail a little bit later on. But as you can see, my arms are parallel to the ground, and I've got a nice stable platform with which to walk on. Now obviously I can already hear people say, well, what's the best use of them? Two schools of thought, again, as there usually is with these things. Two schools of thought. There's one school that says that you use the poles at the same time, or as I call it, double poling, so that you use one foot, you walk forward with one foot, then the other, and then, let's see if I can do this properly, so you go like that, step, step, and then do it again. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that because you get both feet are being supported by the poles. Downside is though is that it doesn't give you more stability, and again I will show you that what I mean with the second way that you can use these poles. The other way you can use these poles is staggered poling, which is basically I'm going to move my left foot forward, not that you can see it, but I'm going to move my left foot forward, and at the same time I'm moving my right pole forward. Basically that gives you 3 points of contact on the ground at any one point, because as soon as that pole goes down and your foot goes down, your other foot's moving forward, and the other pole is moving forward, so it's 2 points of contact, sorry, not 3. And you do it like that. Now the advantage of that is that you've always got 2 points of contact on the ground. Disadvantage of that is if you get thrown off the rhythm, you can be it can take a little bit of time to get back into the rhythm. Both styles are effective, both styles work. It is entirely up to you which one you use. Okay, so moving on, I'm not going to collapse the poles. Moving to the bottom of the poles themselves, you'll notice that there are 2 different feet. This one here is a standard rubber foot for trekking. It does come off to reveal a spike for soft ground, and obviously it can be replaced. They're quite easy to replace. The other one is angled quite sharply, and is slightly bowed as well. This is for Nordic walking, and as I say, Nordic walking takes up uses more energy and is more efficient for walking, and also probably helps you lose a little bit more weight. Now you have to do things differently you have to set up your poles differently for Nordic walking. In this case, I'm going to set the pole up, and I've already measured this out for myself, 110 centimeters overall, so it's only a short drop, only a small drop. But the idea is to keep this foot on the ground, as much as that foot on the ground as possible. Okay, so the idea is that's the angle. That's the correct angle for me. Again, I'll drop the camera. That's the ideal angle for me, and as you can see, the pole is at a lot steeper angle. Just twist that a little bit like that. As you can see, it's at a lot steeper angle. Now the idea of this is that you're actually pushing on the pole to give you that extra energy and that extra boost. That's the idea, and it does work. So just bear with us a second. I honestly feel like giving up filming on this today because I've had so many interruptions. But anyway, as I was saying, the angle for Nordic walking is different, and the idea is to actually using the pole to push yourself forward, just like you would in cross-country skiing. So you take the other pole. So if you're cross-country skiing, the idea is you ski, and you're using the poles as well. Okay. As I said in the past, or as I said a few minutes ago, these are not specific Nordic walking poles. These are trekking poles, but because I'm not intending on taking it seriously, this doesn't matter too much for now. Nordic walking poles tend to be, if you get the collapsing type, they are like this, but the screw thread inside is stronger, because if you put too much pressure on the standard trekking poles, they will actually start collapsing under their own weight. Under the pressure that you're pushing on them. The other thing with Nordic walking poles is that the grip is entirely different. Now if you look at the grip on this pole and then you Google Nordic walking pole, you'll see that there's none of this, and it's not angled forward slightly either. It is more or less straight up and down. As I say, because I don't intend to do this completely seriously, don't tend to take this up too seriously at all. For now, my trekking poles will do. It's a simple adaptation, like I say, to make these into Nordic walking poles. Not perfect Nordic walking poles, but good enough for what I need to do. So transfer the other one, stick the other foot in for now. Drop the pole down. Make sure it's properly in line, which it looks like it is. There we go. Right. So there we go. So that's my 2 poles now set up for Nordic walking. And like I say, the idea is you're actually using the poles to push yourself forward as well, which makes it more energy efficient, and also makes you walking faster as well, and hopefully lose a bit more weight. Now, the idea was I was going to go out and film myself doing some walking, but honestly, after all the interruptions I've had today, I really can't be bothered, because it'll just mean resetting time after time after time again. But I will be going out and I will be doing some walking with these. Hopefully it's given you an idea into the basics of trekking poles, and yeah, I know this hasn't been my best video, but I hope you appreciate it, and thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.